Hey everyone, this is All Star Hoop Talk with Shane
and Ethan, because every team needs an all-star.
All right, so today we're coming back at you, kind of going to recap what's happened in the NBA playoffs since the last time we spoke and what teams have moved on to the second round of the playoffs. And really just kind of starting out with by recapping Ethan's predictions and who he got right and what his next round predictions may be. So take it away, Ethan. Tell us what's happening.
Well, I got the Thunder versus Pelicans correct. I expected the Thunder to win it in a lot more games, but they won it in 4, so that's good. And then the next one I got correct was the Nuggets in 5 games, and they did win in exactly 5 games.
And with that one, you even predicted that the Lakers would win just one game, and they would win it where?
In LA.
And what happened?
They won it in LA.
Exactly. So you got that one almost exactly right. It's like you saw into the future with that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us your next prediction that you got right.
And then I got the Celtics correct, which to me was kind of obvious.
Why was that one obvious?
Well, the Heat, they were an 8 seed this year, but the Celtics, they were playing a really, really good this year. Last year, they were a 2 seed. This year, they're number 1 seed, and I think they're like 10 games ahead of the number 2 seed or something like that.
That's right. The Celtics had a really good record this season, and I think they had the best record overall in the NBA at the end of the season, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you get any more right?
No. Those were the only 3 that I got correct.
Okay. And so let's start with the Thunder. Now that the Thunder have moved on and eliminated the Pelicans, who do you see as really being the star in that series to get them past whoever their next opponent's going to be, whether it's the Clippers or the Mavericks?
I can't really say anyone in particular. They were all playing really well. They were playing like a really good team, and there was no individual person who stood out to me.
Okay. And so the Clippers versus Mavericks, that series is still going on, and Dallas currently leads 3-2 in that series. Do you think the Clippers are going to be able to pull it back? Because usually the team that wins Game 5 typically goes on to win the series. Correct?
Yeah.
So now the Clippers are behind in the series, and they're facing a pretty darn good Mavericks team. And the Clippers, they just seem like they're running out of gas. They seem like they're older. Kawhi Leonard is now injured. Don't know if he's coming back for any more of the series. I think he's still day-to-day. Do you think that's going to play a factor in it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to play a factor in the series.
And do you think the Clippers will be able to come back and win the series, or do you think the Mavericks are going to get the next game and move on?
I don't think the Clippers will, and I don't want the Clippers to, because if they lose, then my prediction is correct. But yeah, I don't think they're going to make it either way.
Okay. And then if the Mavericks move on, they'll be facing, obviously, the Thunder. And do you think they'll stand a chance?
Yeah, I think they'll win more than the Pelicans, who only won 0.
They got swept. Yeah. So, and then down further in the Western Conference, you got the Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. Who do you like in that series?
I'll go with the Timberwolves.
Really? Why is that? Why are you not going with the defending champions?
Well, the Suns, to me, they were harder to beat than the Lakers, and the Timberwolves, they swept the Suns, and the Nuggets only beat the Lakers in 5 games. and I think the Timberwolves, they have the momentum, and I just think they're going to beat the Nuggets.
So are you saying that beating a team with Booker and Durant is a harder thing to do than a team with just Anthony Davis and LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Well, the Suns are a 6 seed and the Lakers are a 7 seed, but not only that, the Suns could, I think, easily beat the Lakers.
I think they did this year a few times, if I remember. We'd have to go back and check, but I think you're right. So, and then on the Eastern Conference side, we still got to see who the Celtics are going to face up against next, and that's going to be the winner of the Cavaliers versus Magic. And in that series, we got Cavaliers up 3-2, and again, Game 5, the winner of Game 5 typically goes on, to win the series. So do you think the Cavs will be able to pull out a win and get the Game 4 win that they need to close out the series? Or do you think the Magic will take them to Game 7 and maybe even pull out a win?
I think the Magic will take it to Game 7, but the Cavaliers will win in Game 7.
Okay. So you're hearing it from here that this will go to Game 7. So we will stay tuned to see that prediction. And then the last bracket in the East, you got the Pacers versus the Knicks. Now, I was impressed with Jalen Brunson's, heroics during the series with the 76ers. He's going to be facing up against a really hot Halliburton and the Pacers. What do you think of that kind of matchup?
I think the Pacers are going to win.
Really? What makes you believe that? Why do you feel they'll pull it off?
Well, for 2 games, the Knicks won by, for one of them, 3, and the one that they won the series with, 2 points. And the Pacers, they won by a lot more. They only won 1 game by 2 points. But then again, the Bucks had Giannis and Damian out.
That's true. I think both of them started the series playing, didn't they? And then they got hurt.
Yeah. Damian Lillard, he came back last game, but he couldn't will the Bucks into Game 7.
Yeah. He just couldn't do it all on his own. Now, if I remember correctly, that last game, the Pacers really stomped on the Bucks by 30 points to win it? That was a decisive win. That was a statement win, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that might give them that momentum that they need to go into New York and start taking an advantage, you think, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we still have a couple of series to see how they're going to finish up, the Cavs and the Magic and the Clippers and the Mavericks. And so then we'll know the complete second round standings and brackets to then make more predictions. And so this year, you don't have LeBron, you don't have Curry, you don't have Kevin Durant moving on to the second round in the playoffs for the first time in a long time. What do you think about that?
I think all 3 of them they're coming to an end in their careers. I think they already hit their peak, and from here it's just going to go downhill until they retire.
And of those, who do you think would retire first?
Maybe Kevin Durant. He's never won a championship. He's getting older and older.
Whoa. He's won a championship.
Oh, well, yeah. Not since he left the Warriors.
Right. He probably should have stuck with them, don't you think?
Yeah.
And since he's moved on from them, he just hasn't been able to win it, to go back to the finals. I don't think he's even been back to the finals since his time with the Warriors, has he?
I don't think so.
So he really lost all of his opportunities since he left the Warriors. And he seems to be injury prone more than normal, or than he used to be, correct?
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to be as injury prone as LeBron James. LeBron James, I mean, he's the oldest player in the NBA, and he's had more seasons in the NBA than any other player ever. His body's just getting worn down, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you think he would retire before Kevin Durant?
You do have a good point, and I didn't think of that, but yeah, I might go with LeBron James now, because he did say that he did want to play his last year with Bronny James, and if Bronny James gets drafted within the next 2 years, then we could see him retiring in like 2 years.
So you haven't seen the speculation that the Lakers are speculated to draft Bronny this upcoming draft, have you?
No.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh my goodness, Ethan, where have you been? So Bronny, you knew that Bronny declared himself for the NBA draft as eligible this year, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were tracking that, right?
Yeah.
There's been rumors and, articles and stuff like that the Lakers are thinking about drafting him to potentially play. And if that happens, that may be the last year LeBron plays next year, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
And did you see in the headlines today that the Lakers fired their head coach?
No.
Where have you been, Ethan? Where have you been? So you're just now learning that they fired him today?
Wait, did they fired him today?
They fired him today.
I think I heard that they would.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that they did.
I can't remember. This was his second or third year with the Lakers.
Second.
And so they fired him now. And so now they've got to look at a new head coach, and if they're going to possibly draft Bronny James to play alongside LeBron next year, they've got a lot to worry about, don't you think?
Yeah.
And I don't know. The Lakers have a proud following, and they always expect to be winning in the championship every year. I just don't see them winning another title next year. Do you?
No.
I mean, I think they'd have to get rid of Anthony Davis or somebody like that to make it possible for them to draft Bronny and to bring in a phenomenal coach to take him there. Don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see them being able to have the payroll to accommodate all of that and to get a new head coach, because I'm sure they still have buyout provisions on the contract with Coach Ham that they just released today. So I'm sure they're still liable to him for some of his contract still. So they're still got money out there they got to pay to him before they can get a new one. So I don't know, but enough of that. Then what do you think about Curry, since you mentioned him possibly retiring too in those three? When do you think he would retire? Do you think he's going to stick around for several more years, or do you think he's only got maybe 1 or 2 left?
I think he might retire soon, maybe within the next 3 years, because the team doesn't seem to be getting any better unless they make some good trades and they maybe win another championship. He might not stick around.
Yeah, which leads us to what we'll be talking about this summer after the playoffs are done, we'll be talking about all of those analytics for each team with their trades, their chances of rebuilding and making it to the championship next year, won't we?
Yeah.
So we'll dig deeper into all of that. But I don't know. I think the playoffs this year have a different feel to them because you don't have some of these big superstars. I mean, you don't even have Giannis and Damian Lillard in the playoffs this year anymore because they're out. And so you don't have these big names anymore. Does that make you think that the NBA is evolving and you're getting younger superstars up and coming that are taking the game over from these older champions that have won?
Yeah, definitely. The Thunder, they're a really young team with the average being like 23 years old. So they're really young and they're the number 1 seed.
In the West.
Yeah.
So you think the age is a factor for them, huh?
Yeah.
Do you think ASG is going to help them get to the finals?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that the team being young, do you think that'll hinder them from winning it though? Because they won't have that experience?
Well, they seem to have a lot of experience. They seem to do good under pressure against the Pelicans when in the first game they won by, I think, just 2 points. They held on and they won the series in just 4 games.
Now, was anybody on the Pelicans team that has playoff experience when the Thunder played them this year? I can't remember. Did the Pelicans go to the playoffs last year? I'd have to look.
I don't know.
Okay. Because I was just trying to see if they had more of a veteran squad that, had been tried and tested under playoff experience. We'd have to look that up, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
And then when you come to the Clippers and Mavericks, like you said, you think the Mavericks are going to prevail there, and the Clippers are kind of the complete opposite of the Thunder. They're like one of the oldest teams age-wise in the NBA because they've got, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, Paul George. So they've got a lot of good players, and they've been around the league for quite a while, but they're just older. They're not the young, up-and-coming stars like the Thunder have, right?
Yeah.
And look at the Timberwolves and the Suns. Kind of the same thing there, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think the age factored into that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So it seems like some of these teams with some of the younger players are kind of advancing. And so it'll be interesting to see how the second round plays out and then ultimately who's going to make it to the conference finals. Do you predict that the teams with some of the younger players are going to make it to the conference finals?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. But like we said, once we're done with the finals, we're going to start diving into what each team's chances of draft picks, maybe some coaching changes, because the Lakers just got rid of their coach today, and what all options that team has and chances of winning a finals next year. So that's some of our up-and-coming stuff that everybody will have to listen to, so that way we'll have more entertainment value for everybody to listen to after the playoffs are done. So is there anything else that we need to talk about today, Ethan, that we missed?
Don't think so.
Anything else you want to mention?
No.
Okay. So this is all that we have for today's All-Star Hoop Talk. So like us, follow us, download us wherever you get your podcasts. We'll talk to you later.